Ta-da! Hello everybody, good afternoon, welcome back to another exciting episode of whatever is going on here at Butterfly Square Garden. And as you can see from the title of the video, which I haven't really come up with yet, um, it's a drawing video. So uh, strap in your seatbelts because I'm taking you for a ride. As usual, we start with drawing on the right side of the brain. It's a wonderful. Oh, this is what I was going to title it. Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain is a good book if you want to learn how to draw, but learning how to draw helps you with just about every single aspect of your life, and I'll tell you why. This is really a course, a course in enhancing creativity and artistic confidence. So if that's something that interests you, being more creative, being more art sorry, COVID. If you want to be more artistically confident, read this book. It's by Betty Edwards and try to get the most updated version of it. Otherwise, we'll go through it together. Drawing exercises, one step at a time, and that's what's really important. That's why I'm making these videos to show you guys that everything happens is just one step at a time. No worries. Yeah, my nose is super itchy right now. That's the camera. So this really talks a lot about the way that your brain works, and I know you can't read it from up there, but I'm just flipping around to the important part, which is right. I'll have to get a bookmark for you guys, because we have to always read together to start class. So, as always, drawing is a global skill, like reading, driving, skiing, walking. And this book says that once you've learned the components of a global skill, that's what drawing is made up of, component skills that become integrated into a whole skill. So drawing is a whole skill made up of pieces of other skills. And once you've learned them, you can just like as you learned to read, you know how to read for life, and just as walking and riding a bike and whatever, drawing is the same way. What are these component skills, you ask? Well, I'm happy to tell you that the 5 basic skills of drawing, object, person, landscape, anything out there, requires only 5 basic component skills. No more. These skills are not drawing skills, everybody. They're not drawing skills. They're perceptual skills, listed as follows. 1. The perception of edges. Say it with me, class. 2. The perception of spaces. 3. The perception of relationships. 4. The perception of lights and shadows. And 5. The perception of the whole, or the gestalt. So 5 is really just, once you get the first 4, you can basically put them together and you see everything. And that's what this little circle says, how the skills really build upon each other. Edges, spaces, relationships, lights and shadows, gestalt, and that's it, the global skill of drawing. So how do you do these perceptual skills, you ask? What kind of exercises can I do where these exercises teach me how to draw without knowing how to draw? Because everyone's like, oh, I don't know how to draw. I can't draw. And it's like, duh. You didn't know how to read before you could read. Hello. Why is this like so earth-shattering information for people? It's like, yeah, you can draw. And this book talks about, it's kind of outdated. You have 2 brains, a left and a right. Modern brain scientists. Um, let's get a little better visual. So you have 2 brains, blah, blah, blah. Scientists know that your left brain is verbal and rational. It thinks seriously and reduces its thoughts to numbers, letters, and words. Your right brain is your nonverbal and intuitive brain. It thinks in patterns or pictures composed of whole things, or the gestalt, and does not comprehend reductions, either numbers, letters, or words. It's kind of like Dory. You know Dory? Dory is very right-brained, and Marlin is very left-brained. That's why they're such good friends. Just kidding. They're like, how do they even talk to each other? I drive them crazy. So yeah, this book really just tells you that drawing is a right brain thing, and you have to switch over. You have to gain access to the subdominant visual perceptual R mode of the brain, and it is necessary to present the brain with a job that the verbal analytic L mode will turn down. So, L mode is like, gimme, gimme, gimme. I'm the one who does all the jobs. Right brain, you sit in the back and, I'll take us where we're going. But then, left brain stinks at drawing. So you have to kind of wait. That's what all these exercises in the book teach the reader the 5 component skills and provide conditions that facilitate making cognitive shifts to the R mode, the thinking, seeing mode specialized for drawing. Good thing I underlined this, all right, everybody? So, in short, my goodness, I need a cameraman. In short, I'm reading this off the screen, so you guys should read it too. In short, the process of learning to draw, in the process of learning to draw, one also learns to control, at least to some degree, the mode by which one's own brain handles information. Boop, 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 boo, and the blah, 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 blah. So, do you guys really want to do, after this artist's class, people can draw from start like this, and then that's how they are after 4 days. And that's how they are here 4 days later. These are just the same people drawing self-portraits, and it just really changes the whole thing when you start to notice like the visual information. Here's another exercise. Try drawing this. I've done it several times. Should I do it again? Sure, we're not even 10 minutes in. This exercise is like an introduction into whether you are using which mode of processing. So, yeah, the author says for right-handers, you'd start on the left and you'd go around, and for left-handers, you'd start on the right and go around. For the first half, you just draw it looking at it, but then for the second half, try being like chin, lips, nose, eyes. Let's do it together as a class, everybody. So, readjusting my camera, because we don't... Come on. I know you can focus better. Just because you have everything set up right doesn't mean it's not going to be glitchy, so just do your best, everybody. Oh, and we're also going to do anatomy. I'm like running out of pages in my sketchbook, so I was going to get another one, but I've like barely used anything in this book, so just going to do it. I just threw the book on the floor as if I was done using it, but I was going to... Where'd I put it? I put it in my drawer. Silly, Jason. I usually skip the exercise, but oh, I opened it right to the right page. Don't you love when that happens? So I'm going to use a marker, but you guys should use like a pencil or something. Don't erase though. You're not allowed to erase when you do this. So I'm going to look at the reference picture. You can pull one up on your phone or something. I don't really care. And now I'm going to be like chin, lips, nose, forehead. Ta-da! I would say that came out like okay, not the best. How did you guys do? Because when you are doing the talking, what happens is it causes a conflict in your brain because you can't really be doing both. It's not, it's like it just makes it harder. So, talking is linguistic and it's left brain. So, if you do left brain stuff while you're drawing, it'll kick you out of the R mode. And then, I mean, I've done this exercise a whole bunch of times, so you can see that it came out okay. I mean, I could have done a better job, but again, like the whole point of the exercise is for you to I'll tell you now that we're done doing the exercise. I hope you did it with me, everybody. Otherwise, we're gonna have to keep doing them. Another one is pure contour drawing. I'll tell you about that next because this is a teaching class. You want to learn how to draw, you got to do the exercises. You can't just start drawing. That's a left brain way of thinking. So why did you do this exercise, everybody? Nearly all of this author's students experience some confusion or conflict while doing this exercise. A few people experience a great deal of conflict, even a moment of paralysis. Oh my God, have this ever happened to you? If this happened to you, you may have come to a point where you need to change direction in the drawing, but didn't know which way to go. The conflict may have been so great that you could not make your hand move the pencil to the right or the left. I'm sure I paused when I was drawing, but it wasn't like much of a pause. It was like a really short pause. That is the purpose of the exercise, to create conflict so that each person can experience in their own minds the mental crunch that can occur when instructors are inappropriate to the when instructions are inappropriate to the task at hand. So it was like a trick. You know, it's like we give you an exercise and it's like supposed to be not good to do. I believe that the conflict can be explained as follows. I gave you instructions that strongly plugged in the verbal system in the brain. Remember that I insisted that you name each part of the profile and said, now really think what those terms mean. So don't cheat. Don't be like, I want to draw the face in the vase. I'm going to do it without talking. Like, you're supposed to learn how to experience the crunch in order to know when it's happening and move it. So she gave you a task, complete the second profile and simultaneously the vase. That can only be done by shifting to the visual spatial mode of the brain. Drawing the second half is way harder because you have to match it up correctly, and you have to be using you have to non-verbally assess relationship of sizes, curves, angles, and shapes. And the difficulty of making that mental shift causes the feeling of conflict and confusion and even a momentary mental paralysis. So you may have found a way to solve the problem, thereby enabling yourself to complete the second profile and therefore the symmetrical vase. So how did you solve it? Did you not think of names? Did you shift your focus to the shapes? We're using a grid. Oh, that's a good idea. Using a grid. And drawing from the bottom up rather than the top down. What did you do? Did you decide that you didn't care whether it was symmetrical and just draw your profile? That's cheating. So a few more questions, like, did you use your eraser? Did you feel guilty? Oh, interesting. I haven't really read that part. You can't use an eraser unless teacher says it's okay. So I guess it's okay. You guys can. You're allowed. To sum up, finally, sum up. The point of the seemingly simple face vase exercise is this. In order to draw a perceived object or person, something that you see with your eyes, you must make the mental shift that is specialized for this visual perceptual task, and the difficulty of making the shift from verbal to visual mode often causes conflict. Didn't you feel it, everybody? To reduce the discomfort of the conflict, you stopped. Do you remember feeling stopped short and made a new start? That's what you were doing when you gave yourself instructions. That is, gave your brain instructions to shift gears or change your strategy. Don't do this, do that. It's not working, change. So it's just adapting. There are many solutions, blah, blah, blah. You figure it out. Blah, 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 blah. Moving along, moving right along, everybody. Only 15 minutes in. So more exercises that this book teaches you. Getting around. Where is it? This is a really good chapter, chapter 6. Getting around your symbol system and meeting edges and contours. So edges, everybody, we can do it. We can do our edges. Pure contour drawing is like this guy. Come on, I really want it to focus better. Maybe that's just the best it's going to get. This guy's like looking at his hand, like, oh, I'm looking at my hand over here. But then down here, they're drawing. So looking at my hand, and what am I looking at? There's wrinkles in my hand. So I'm looking at the wrinkles and I'm drawing them in my notebook without looking at my notebook. And why would we do something stupid like this? It's because the left brain hates it. The left brain thinks that the wrinkles in your hand or a crumpled up piece of paper or whatever you want, it's useless information. They're like, okay, it's a wrinkle, I get it. But the R brain is like, oh, look at all those wrinkles. I want to draw them. So your drawings might come out like this poopy focus, stinky camera. I'm not happy with it. I feel like it was better focused before. If it's fuzzy up here, then that means it should be good down here. Anyways, maybe I just didn't move the camera last time. They give you a ton of examples in the book of these scribble dibbles. And to sum up this concept, in drawing, an edge is always a shared boundary. So the first component skill, which you can't read, but pure contour drawing has introduced you to the first component skill of drawing, the perception of edges. And in drawing, the edge has a special meaning different from its ordinary definition as border or outline. So yeah, everything's made up of edges, and that's why we can do lines. I just feel like the camera is not focusing, everybody. So next, now that we know how to draw, we've learned how to draw, we're all done learning how to draw. Now we can go into the anatomy book and learn more. So we've gotten through a whole bunch of stuff from the skull together. The skull is the best place to start. So, as a class, we have been doing some anatomy. I don't want to show you too much stuff yet. Oh, this is what we did last time. Masseter. That's on your jawbone. But then we also had to go backwards because even though we started doing muscles, we were like, I don't think we're doing good enough with the bones in the skull. We did that last time, and I even made a little mistake. So it does happen. People make mistakes. I just drew over it. So last time we learned that this is the frontal bone. No. This is the frontal bone. This whole thing is the frontal bone. And then this... It's just a lot of stuff in the face. That's the glabella. Oh no, you're seeing all my drawings. I don't want to give that away. We learned the 7 cervical vertebra of the neck. That's what we did there. Don't look, don't look, don't look. We did do the mandible, and we did do all of the teeth. That's 8 half, 8, so 16, 16. There's like 32 teeth. Don't look, don't look, don't look. And we learned the zygomatic arch. So, a needle pulling thread. Anatomy is really fun. I didn't even do any anatomy for these. For a long time, I was just doing the self-portrait, and then we added in the anatomy because the portraits weren't getting better fast enough. And I'm all about learning fast. So let us do it again. I'm drawing the skull again over and over because let's start here. It stinks that it's like not focusing though. I'm like kind of bummed that my camera is so poopy. Drink green tea, it's good for your health. Ooh, yum. Alright, so I'm using my special pencil that I lost. Here it is. This is a Kurutoga Uni from Japan, and it rotates the tip as I draw, which is super cool. I'm gonna have to end up getting a camera stand, because I've got a camera stand, but it's like a tripod. I don't know, it's just weird. Anyways, I'm copying this out of the book. Boop, 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 boo. I just drew a little square so I knew where I'm going. And I see it's kind of round. I'll go over it so it's darker, but this way you can see that when you start drawing, it's supposed to be very, very light. Very light. And this is the zygomatic arch. And then the bone goes in a little bit and then back out. Just like so. And that is called, so this is 1. You can't see, I put a little 1. That is the frontal bone. There we go. You can read that. So this whole thing is the frontal bone. And then these things on the side. Do 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 do. Boop 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 boop. Do 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 do. So these two things on the side, 1 is frontal bone. That's this. 2 is the superior temporal line. Okay, that's 2. Boop, you can't really see, but I did mark it for later. Right kind of at the base of the superior temporal line, which I drew a little too much uneven. I'm out of lead, I'm out of lead, I'm out of lead. There's kind of some shadows. Make sure you put in your shadows. But don't go cray, because we're still just learning. It is important to learn everything about the bones so that you can move on to funner stuff like muscles. Okay. So this whole thing, this line going across, that's labeled as 3, which is the superciliary arch. And I'm going to write it down. Ciliary arch. So this is the frontal bone, everybody. Frontal bone, frontal bone. And then this thingy. Do 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 do. Frontal bone, frontal bone. Temporal line, superior temporal line. That's this whole thing right here. and it's called temporal fossa. Is that temporal fossa? Frontal bone. Oh, it even says superior temple line. Temple line. And then next, the superciliary arch. My lead fell out. Oh my goodness, everybody. Superciliary arch. That's this thing. It's like going across my eyebrows. That's the superciliary arch. There's really nothing to... Oh man, what'd I just do? Okay, it's still recording. I clicked my mouse and it all went gone. It's okay. I wish I was a fish. That's from Ed, Edd n Eddy. Okie dokes. So that's what that is. Superciliary arch. That's 3. And then 4 is my favorite, glabella. Which is like a kind of little, they call it a keystone in an arch. It's a little trapezoid. And then drawing the glabella makes it much easier to draw the eye sockets, which are kind of like this. They go all the way down your superior... No. The temporal line is up here, but down here is the zygomatic bone. I wonder what that bone is. Maybe it is the same thing. Anyways, let's keep going, class. So, don't forget to attach a picture of the work that you did so that I know that you guys are doing your homework. It is very dark back here. And it's got these little thingies. Also dark over here. So floor is the glabella, which is this thing here. And then underneath the glabella is the nason, root of the nose, which is kind of like this thing right in smack dab in between the eye sockets. That's the root of the nose. And it kind of comes out like, I don't know what to call it, but it's a very like easily definable shape. And then it goes off the book, so I can't really see much more underneath that. Boop, 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 boop. Cool, everybody. We just did some anatomy. Yeah, so frontal bone, superior temporal line, the temple line, that's this thing. Boop, 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 boop. You can even feel it. Like, feel free to feel it on yourself. Superciliary arch, that's this thing. Superciliary arch, everybody. And then the glabella is just a shape like that, but it's like right between your eyes. And yeah, it helps. It really helps draw the eye socket. The eye socket. Do we want to continue drawing? We've drawn the skulls many times, but I don't feel like we've gotten a good enough handle on it. Like, did we do this drawing of a skull together? I don't, yeah, we did like several times. I don't want to draw it again because I just want to move into my self-portrait. We're already 30 minutes into class, but let's just talk about some of the things that is on the skull, because then it'll be easier to talk about next time. We know that this is the frontal bone. Oh my goodness, what a beautiful picture of a skull. I just moved it up and you still can't see because the writing for this one is actually like really small. Temporal fossa. That's like this whole thing on the side of the head. Temporal fossa. Superior temporal line. That's what we learned. The temple line. That's that right there. You can barely even. It's like just a little ridge. Frontal bone. Orbit eye socket. That's your orbit, which means eye socket. Orbit, orbit, orbit. Nasine, root of the nose. I don't know how to pronounce it. Am I saying it wrong? Oh, it says, nasion, and then nasal bone is on top of it. So that's what I drew here. Oops, doesn't matter. We've got the zygomatic bone, the cheekbone. We've drawn that together. The maxilla, upper jawbone. We have drawn it, but we haven't defined it yet. So maxilla, upper bone. Mental protuberance. That's your chin. Mental protuberance. This is weird. It's like anatomy is all of these new words for like something that I should have. Why didn't we learn this in school, everybody? The mandible. That's your jawbone. Lower jawbone, at least. And then they, for some reason, labeled the body of the mandible, angle of the mandible. I broke that. It's one of the second most common broken bone, other than the eye socket, in the face at least. Boom, boom. It just snaps. Be careful on your bikes, everybody. Ramus of the mandible. That's like after the angle of the mandible. And then you've got 1, 2, and 3, which they call, one is the zygomatic arch. That's this thing. And then this little bubble bally thing is the temporomandibular joint. Womp, womp, womp. That's how you open and close your mouth, everybody. This bumpy thing is the mastoid process, and going back to what I was saying, 3 is the external auditory meatus. Oh, goodness. Wait. I guess that's where your ears go. Weird. I've always been drawing this like little circle, not knowing that it's where your freaking ear goes. My goodness, how did I not know that? So we just learned a whole bunch of anatomy language. Next time when I draw, I'm probably just gonna have to keep my book down here. My little, I think that's what I'm gonna do this time. Oh, is it not working? Am I not able to? So I think it would be nice if you guys like actually got to see me drawing. So flipping this over. I don't think that that's really good. Oh, that's okay. I mean, you can kind of. What do you guys think? I'll try my best to stay on screen. Go a little higher, maybe as high as we can go. A boop 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 boo 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 boo. What the heck did that just do? That like didn't even do anything. Ah, so close, everybody. I don't want to put anything under it because then it won't. I mean, it'll just show, if I put like a book to prop it up, it'll just show the book, and I'm like, dang. Stay. Alright, that's like the best I can do for now. So, yeah, that's like what I'm doing for now. A boop 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 boo doo 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 doo. I am drawing my pretty little head in the corner. So boop boo boo boo. I don't think I've done it this way before. Trying to get as much book on camera as I can. So it looks like I have that much space. So I'm just jumping right in. If you do this enough times, like, you kind of start to get the hang of it. Actually, usually I do a couple gesture drawings, don't I? So, as a gesture drawing, it's kind of just like 10 seconds, 60 seconds. If you're already at 2 minutes, that's like a whole drawing. It's like not even a gesture drawing anymore. Boop 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 boo boo doo 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 doo. Still kind of getting the hang of like the play-by-play between using lines for texture and using lines for shading, because it's very different. That looks like, I don't even know. I don't even know. It's like a very big mustache. Oh, it's because he doesn't have any eyebrows. I'm like, why does this guy look like such a freak? It's because I didn't give him any eyebrows. Not to say that that's that much better, but it is. It's much better. I'm gonna do a couple. I'll do like one or two more, and then I'll get into my full-on picture. You guys notice that I figured out how to. I didn't even figure it out. It happened by accident. The microphone's on the other side of the face. Because it spun around, and I picked it up, and I was like, wait, is that backwards? Can I do that? Would that work? Turns out you can, and it does. So, I can see the temporal line. That's what I just drew. And this is the glabella. This is the zygomatic arch. Boop, boo, boo, boop, boop, boo. And then it goes in. Got a nose. Oh, I have a nose. Look at that. I have a nose, everybody. Just kidding. Do 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 do. Boop 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 boo. So, oh my goodness. Um, I always struggled with that spot, and now that I know about the glabella, it's just like that just made everything way easier. I still didn't do the best job. It's like that's the eye socket. That's the eye socket. I'm always like, where's the eye go, everybody? Where's the eye go? It's because I literally skipped over all of that and went straight into um, the other things that we did, like the neck. And like, what were we doing drawing the neck when we hadn't even gotten past like the frontal bone? Like, we barely talked about the frontal bone. We thought we could do it. I've got a little ponies, my scrunchie up there. And then I've got that headset on my ear, this ear, and then kind of comes down here. And then there's like this weird thing underneath. And there's my chin, which we learned the scientific name for chin, but I like forgot it already. A boop boo boo boop boop boo doo 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 doo. So I have like a little thing in my neck. A lot of the time, my best drawings are like in between gesture drawings and full on drawings. Um, I guess that's why it's important to get really good at doing your gestures because if you can't do a gesture drawing well, then you won't be able to do anything else drawing related well because you're just building upon what's underneath. And if you want to put in all the finishing touches, that's really exciting. But you can't put finishing touches on something that doesn't have a foundation. So I highly, highly, highly recommend to do the drawing exercises and drawing on the right side of the brain. Do, A really, really fun one that I did the most with my kids was called upside down drawing, and it's a great exercise in the book. And it basically says that like people are better at drawing when they don't know what they're looking at, because then you can't make a symbol for it. And that's what the left brain loves to do. The left brain is like, oh, I'm just going to make a symbol for an eye. That's an eye. That's an eyebrow. That's a nose. And these are lips. Oh, I'll do another eye and another eyebrow. Like, that's literally how the left brain draws. So, if you want to draw a face of someone, like in drawing on the right side of the brain, she has tons of references like Albert Einstein and like this man on a horse. Um, and then all of a sudden things that like tripped you up before, like perspective of like doing one hand in front of the other hand and then putting my face behind it. For someone who doesn't understand what like perspective is, it would just be a mess. Unless you were like a magical, talented person who figures it out on your first try. But yeah. So just because you don't know how to draw something doesn't mean that you don't really know how to draw it. You can just walk on. It's like walking in a labyrinth. You just keep on a going. I like this drawing. This is a good drawing. You can always check your the eye to the chin is supposed to be about the same to the eye to the top of the head. You can measure on yourself. And I've got another part of. Oh, I usually take my shirt off. Oh, else. It's kind of late for that now. And yep, this thing comes right down here, and it goes up and kind of disappears, but I know that there's stuff over there. There's my ear, and that's my chin. So drawing is fun. Drawing is fun, everybody. Drawing is fun, fun, fun. There's like a little ball on the tip of your nose that I love to draw. I just ruined the drawing. That line did not belong there, everybody. Okay. I still haven't really gotten the hang of like highlights. Um, I need to get like a pencil that's white that I can just dot them in. Because I really haven't been doing that at all. I didn't really want to do that, but I was like, if I don't, it won't look right. But if I do it, then the lips will disappear. This looks like a Japanese samurai. Putting in a little bridge in my nose. I'm just doing the finishing touches part. Some eyelashes. Make that a little darker. This whole thing should be dark. Whoa, that fixed a lot. That fixed a lot. A boop 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 boo. So what do you guys like about drawing? I would always tell my kids, I'd be like, so think of your favorite cartoon. Think of like Steven Universe. Think of like um Adventure Time, or I don't know, what are the new kids watching? But those are shows that I like. You know, um, the feeling that the artists felt while they were making that stuff is basically the same that you feel when you're consuming it, and that's why it's so great. So when you're drawing, you're supposed to be having the same feeling that you have when you're watching your favorite movie, watching your favorite cartoon, comic books, like if, the feeling that you get listening to your favorite songs, music. That's literally what it should feel. I'm like giving myself goosebumps. This is so inspirational, everybody. um, I hate building upon old drawings. So this is a big deal, but I just like don't want to um, waste the space paper. So we just did like a really good small drawing, so I don't really care about this big drawing at all. But just for the sake of continuity, we might as well make it an hour class. We're already at 46 minutes. Um, so let's see. I'm seeing a, a glabella like here. And the reason why I know it's there is because if you divide the head in half, um, that's where the eyes go. So if this is the eye socket, which we just learned, that means my eyes will be about here. And we learned about the root of the nose, which is here, and that's the nasal bone, which would put us about there with the nose-ish. And my lips would be about here-ish, maybe, who knows. I think I just changed the dimensions of the whole paper, drawing, whatever. The chin is slightly past the nose. It's weird because I know that the skull has a line like that, but the shadow I'm seeing comes the opposite way. So that's why I think it's important to know the anatomy, because the visual information can be confusing. I'm going to jump right in and start. A little overzealous with the angle of the eyebrow there, but it's okay. What's going on here? That's like part of my nose. This whole thing kind of comes down that way. I'm like, where's the ball of the nose? It's kind of like here. No, it's not. Unless I tilt my head the other way. What a cute face, don't you agree? I think so. It's better to draw yourself now before, while you got it. Know what I'm saying? So the eye socket is here. I really want to get better at putting the eyes in right the first time, because then you can leave a highlight. I mean, I keep talking about how it's okay to use an eraser for a highlighter, you know, that kind of thing, but you shouldn't need to if everything's correct, you know. If I didn't color in the highlight, I wouldn't need to remove anything to correct it. All right, so let's see. This is the cheekbony bone. What's the name of the cheekbone, everybody? The cheekbone's connected to the mandible. The mandible's connected to the cheekbone. So yeah, that's the temporal line. Boop, 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 boo. My head goes like all the way up there. This whole thing should be shadowied in. And I know I see... Oh, my shoulder is coming out like by my nose. I think that means I've got bad posture, guys. Boop, 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 boo. This should be dark. This should all be dark. This should all be dark. Do 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 do. Dark, 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 darker and darker and dark. This whole thing, in fact, should all be darker. Not the worst face so far. It's coming along. I think I could have moved the eye in even a little bit more. And then I'm like really focusing hard on the eyes today, guys, because they're the most important part of your drawing. So I would say if you're practicing your skills, make sure you practice your eyes. This is a weird looking part over here. Weird eye, weird eye, weird eye. My nose comes out a little bit and goes in. It's like, what's going on? Where are you going? Who are you? You're an imposter. Had to color my lip. I didn't want to do it, but I had to do it. There's like a little shadow underneath the zygomatic arch, and I like never do it right, but I feel like I really got the hang of it after doing the anatomy. Well, a little bit better than before. So if my hair is like kind of going like this, and I just want it all to come out looking good, everybody. Like, obviously you always want it to look good, but that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is what I keep telling y'all's, is that you're gaining experience, just like in Pokemon. So just remember that the more you draw, the better you'll be at drawing. But with that being said, there are ways to learn faster than others, and by that I mean you gotta do the anatomy. Like, I will do my best to make it really fun. and we can talk about like what it means to be able to draw people well because everyone will want you to draw them. It's like the most magical skill that a person can have, and I think I really mean that. I mean, obviously, like there's music and there's dancing and everything, but like anyone can draw. Anyone can draw. Anyone can draw. And everyone should draw, and everyone does draw. They just don't really think of themselves as artists. And that's what my kids were the best at. I would be like, hey guys, this is art class. We're all artists. We're making art. And for the first, like, I don't know, how long did it take them to finally, like, understand? Um, Maybe it was because the other kids in the school would, like, see the work because I had the opportunity to showcase the kids' work in it's literally called a showcase, I'm pretty sure. It was in front of the bathroom, and it's like basically a cabinet in the wall that's got glass so you can see what's inside. And I was hanging up all the kids' work, and it was right in front of the bathroom. So all day long, like the kids have to go wash their hands, they gotta go to the bathroom. They're always lined up in front of the bathroom, and they always got to see the kids' artwork. And they were like, it was an after-school program, so then. It was just like really cool that the kids that went to school during the day got to see like what we were doing, which is funny because there was an actual art teacher at the school, and I'm like, why don't you have this? Like, why do I have the good um, real estate in the school? And I guess it's just because we were coming up with good work and they wanted to show it off. So yeah, the kids. Gotta love kids. Um, I still can't really seem to get what I want out of the eye for some reason. It's like some things like I think that helped a lot. I was like an irisless person. And we gotta start wrapping up the video because I gotta go take my doggy on a walk. But I know that the hair is supposed to be much darker. So maybe I gotta get good at putting in the shading and the color of the hair first, and then I guess literally what I start doing after that is going in with like a pen. I'm not doing my whole drawing in pen. I'm like, I refuse. But there are a couple things that I know it would help the drawing, so yeah. Pens just have a really sharp line, and that's literally just a lot of the time what's important. So I'm just going to clean up the line work so we can see. This is kind of part of the style too. Boop, boo, boo, boo. I'm not doing like anything else though. I just really don't want to. I just kind of want to suggest the hairs a little bit better. And there are some lines that it's, really important to have the right kind of lines in the edges. I'm like kind of done with this drawing, everybody. What are we at? We're at exactly 59 minutes. So hooray! We did it, class. We did something. What did we even do today? We did The frontal bone. We learned all about the frontal bone, everybody. That was good. We learned about the frontal bone, and we learned about... Oh, it even comes down a little bit, maybe. Just a little bit. Come out and go in a little bit. Something's wrong. My forehead's not that big. But I drew myself with the biggest forehead, everybody. The biggest. It's not the worst. I've seen worse. I just want to do a little bit, just, just to help communicate what I want to do. So, being an artist is cool. It's really fun. It's like a magical talent. People don't really understand what you're doing. Like, they can literally watch you draw a nose. They'll be like, how do you draw a nose? How do you draw a nose? How do you draw a nose? And then you'll draw a nose, and they'll be like, oh my god, like, I can't even comprehend that you just did that. I don't even know how you did that, everybody. This is supposed to be a little more shadowy. And then, that's what I said I would do before. Oh, whoa. It looks totally weird from that far away. Did I just do something wrong? Turning upside down. Boop 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 boo doo 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 doo. I think it's just that. That's definitely it. I brought down my forehead and then I brought that in. So yeah. Oh well. Should I erase it, everybody? Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Do it for the gram. Something still looks off. I think it's like... I think it's that. I think that it would look better if I had brought it in like that much. Oh well. Look at this guy. He's looking kind of flirty. And then underneath. It's like I'm drawing everything in pen when I should really be doing pencil. The hair comes down almost to the chin, but I'd put it way down here. So that's another thing that's wrong. Ba 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 ba. Maybe I can my shoulder was like up by my nose before, and now it's like way down here. La 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 la. La la la. I'm just putting a couple wrinkles in the shirt. It doesn't really matter. And then underneath, coming out from the shirt, should have a shadow right there. And then just put a little skin tone in. And I've got pencil on my hand, so it's literally just getting smeared like all over the paper. But that's pretty much, I think that's good enough. We learned about, what did we learn today? Frontal bone is here. Superior temporal line is going across there. Superciliary, oh no, this is the temporal line here. This is the temporal line. And I did draw it in. This is the superciliary arch. This is the glabella, which can, oh man, I can totally see that that has to all come in. And by come in, I mean like get shaded better. I'm just like making it worse and worse. I don't know. I think I put in the eyes and the nose better today. This eye is always being moved around, and it like didn't move at all today, so I'm like pretty happy about that. This needs to be darker. Still darker. This whole thing should be darker. This whole thing should be darker, and then this comes up like that. Cool. So just doing again, like I want this whole thing to be better. And then this whole thing should be like really dark, which it's not. Boop 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 boop. So a needle pulling thread. Today is January 3rd, 2021. And this was like, I don't know, how long was this? Like 45 minutes. So this was like a 20-minute drawing almost. Yeah, I'm going to say 20 min. Why not? We took our time with this. And JSJ with my little buttery fly smiley face. Maybe we'll put in a little red background today. Why not? That way, oops. I will be separate from the background. Usually I draw in like my background, so I didn't really have the space to do that. Yeah. There's a chair, there's a box. It's like boop boop. Tiny ukulele in the corner. There's like a little clock over here. Ba-da-da-da. 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 Closet. So yeah, I think we're still learning the bones, and let's do a little critique. Did I forget anything? The time, the date, the signature. Yeah, oh well. In your portfolio, you would be like, you would put in the medium, so you would say I use pencil with pen, mixed media. So yeah, that was my critique for today. I was really focused on getting this right, which I feel like I did get this much better. Each time we pretty much always start here and then work our way out, and by the time we get to here, it's like we've done this a million times and we've like never done this because we always stop. So taking time. I just saw that this little hair thing I really like, but it should come down to like there, like my actual hairline. That's a little better. A little better. These drawings, each time we do them, they just get a little better. And that's good enough for me. Knocking everything over. Critique is like just as important as drawing, so that's why we always include it. I won't go all the way back. I did like this gesture drawing. I like it even more than my big drawing. I always do like I stop after a couple seconds, then I start doing another one, and by this time the second gesture is better than the first gesture, which is why I want to build on it. And then I always stop and start over, and this is just like, this is overworked in my opinion. I'm just like really kind of getting to know all the fine lines and all the details, and this is just really general. Um, you don't put in the details, and for some reason I like the way it came out. We went over the bones in the face, frontal bone, superior temporal line, superciliary arch, and then I didn't even write in the other ones. 4 is glabella. We gotta write it in. Glabella and nason, which is the root of the nose. And I'm going to keep saying it because if I ask you next time, what did we learn? Like in the earlier ones, I can say, we learned the zygomatic arch. That's the cheekbone. We learned the mandible. That's the jawbone. Masseter was the muscle in between. But again, I hadn't even learned the names of all of the bones in the skull yet. So that's kind of why we went backwards. I skipped over these. This is the last time what we did the drawing there. I did draw on the glabella here after the drawing. And that's when I learned that the eye socket is supposed to connect these two. So that's why this eye is always kind of weird. Did I do a better job today? I don't know. I think I did. I think I did a better job today. And that's what counts. That's what counts, everybody. If you do a little bit better every day. This is what I was saying. We learned the Masseter. That was a good drawing. I liked that. Get a little more space on camera. Yeah, this is the last time we drew all of those things. The nasal bone. Oh no, we didn't even do that. This is all different. Nasal bone, lacrimal bone. We know zygomatic bone. Inferior nasal conchella, vomer bone, or romer bone, maxilla, and we do know mandible. So even though I wrote it in my book, we didn't really learn it. So it's like if you don't really learn it, then it won't stick. I love drawing skulls. Ethmoid bone, frontal bone, parietal bone, that's the side up top, and then the temporal bone is here, and that's the occipital bone. So it's just like the skull isn't even one bone. The skull's made up of like a million bones. And we gotta learn them all. That's a bad drawing. I didn't shade this whole side of the face. That's supposed to be dark. And the eyes, all of the earlier drawings are all going to have eyes out of place. That is a really good gesture drawing. I gotta say, I like that one. I can see them better in person. It's such a shame that you guys can't see it. That's, marker. A lot of the anatomy is coming out really well. Like, I'm really happy with the way the anatomy drawings are coming out, but then once I get into the portraiture, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. So we gotta practice and practice and practice. Usually I have a poetry slam if we've got time left over, but there's just like never time left over anymore. Again, the gesture drawings are like knock it out of the park. I just love this one. I was so into drawing the glasses. Like when you love what you're drawing, it just comes out so much better than when you hate what you're drawing. And I know that's a silly thing to say, but the left brain like hates when things don't come out right. So you just gotta let it go. Boop, 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 boop. Why is my phone focusing like now at the end? That's good. Yeah. You guys don't need to see like every single thing I've ever done. Look how bad that one was. I was trashed that day. Sorry if you don't know what that means, but I was like wasted for both of these days. I tried for two days in a row, and I was like, we can't do this anymore. I have to stop drinking. So if anyone wants to know, look at this. I didn't like I drew in half an eyebrow. And I didn't even like, what's going on? Why can't you do better? I'm kidding. Some of them are pretty good. We've done this exercise many, many times. Oh no, that was one we did today. But yeah, I like that drawing. Again, it's out of place. It's like silly putty, and someone just stretched the face sideways. I'm gonna have to get a new sketchbook. Oh, this is the first time I did that with you guys, and I did it really well, but I was kind of cheating. Yeah, another good thing to practice drawing is your hands, because they're always there. And if you're good at drawing hands, then everyone will think that you're a really good artist. Like, you can do oil painting that takes a month, but if you put gloves on your people, you know, I feel like that's less impressive than a 5-minute sketch of hands that like look good. This I wasn't drawing for the camera. I was just drawing that with myself, so it's you can't see it, but ribs, spine, you know. I've gone through the bones many times, but for some reason it's just like you don't really learn it. You just got to do it over and 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 over. I skipped ahead in the book, so it's like I'm doing all of these other things with mouth and nose and eyes and stuff, and it looks good because I'm copying out of a book. But it also looks good because you don't have to put them together. Like these eyes I copied out of the book, but you're not drawing the eyes with a nose or with lips or anything. A lot of them aren't even good drawings. I mean, I thought they were so good when I did them at the time, but I'm just better now. And that's literally the only way that you get better is you just got to keep doing it. You got to keep doing it. I don't think you'll ever be completely satisfied, but the most satisfying thing, in my opinion, is getting better. So, these are good. I took a really long time to draw these. Yeah, I took a really long time to draw these. Even small things like now I shade in between the teeth. And the only way that I could get to that point was by drawing the teeth like a bunch of times. See, I didn't shade in between. I mean, I did up here, but not around them. And that's just something that you see from looking back on your own drawings because you're better. So you see your old drawings and you're like, oh, well, I would fix that and I would fix that and I would fix that. And you do that in all of your new drawings, but you don't think about that in comparison because you can only think of one thing at a time. Yeah, I always have to show off like the what's in the book. Otherwise, you guys won't believe me. Yeah, isn't it all fun? It's like you can't see them at all. I started drawing anatomy, like figure drawing from YouTube, and I was like, these aren't good. They're not good. I need to do anatomy. I need to practice my self-portraiture. So in the future, once we know all the bones and we know all the muscles, like 10 years from now, I think we will be able to draw stellar people, including their faces, including their hands, including their feet. And having the confidence, that's the most important part. Going back to drawing on the right side of the brain, it's a course in enhancing creativity and artistic confidence. And that is more important than having a good drawing. But it'll happen. I promise. It'll happen. So, thanks for coming to class today. Thanks for showing up. All you need is a paper and a pencil. You don't even need the book. I'm like literally reading it line by line, and I'm skipping the boring parts. So, yeah, that's literally what we've been doing here. We'll do some reading from right side of the brain, then we'll do some anatomy, then we'll do some figure drawing. And each time we get a little bit better. We've been making lots and lots of videos, and even though I personally don't think I'm like satisfied with my drawing, and that's why I became a teacher. I wanted to get better at drawing, and I want everyone else to get better at drawing as well. So, wouldn't it be fun if we could all draw together? And the better you are at drawing, if you can draw, then that means you can paint. If you can draw, that means you'll be better at sculpting. If you can draw, it's a global task, so it takes up all parts of your brain. So if you want to get better at anything, uh, drawing it like overflows into those things. Even doing my makeup, like I know it's silly, but blending it is like so easy. If you want to get better at makeup, start drawing. Because you'll be processing the visual information differently than a person who doesn't draw. And that's why I think that it's so confusing when people can draw but can't explain it, like explain how they do it to other people. But now we're learning. We're learning how to explain it. So, thanks again. This is Butterfly Square Garden, and I wouldn't be a good host if I didn't show you guys what we've got over here. I'm putting them on the table, and then I'll move the camera because I don't want to handle them too much. So that, oops, focus. It's kind of dark in here, but you can see hanging from the top are chrysalises. And I've also got over here a caterpillar, and he's on the top of the cup because I'm pretty sure he's done eating. And then they climb to the top, and then they shed their skin, and they become a pupa or a chrysalis. And it's different than a moth because moths actually spin a cocoon from silk, and butterflies don't do that. So a chrysalis is not the same as a cocoon. There is a pupa inside the cocoon, so they still do that, but it's different. So yeah, we've got thistle growing in the window. Focus. We've got thistle growing in the window, and then you can see on the box over there, those are leftover butterflies. They just last forever. I learned how to you mount them on a mounting board, and you pin them in place so that when they dry out, they're pretty because when they die, they close their wings up. And it's like working with dry leaves because they crack really easily and they tear really easily. We've got a whole bunch of makeup that I found in the basement, and we're going to be doing lots of fun videos, like boxes and boxes of makeup. So, yeah, that's just some of the fun things that we do here. I'll probably check back in later, and maybe we can do a nail video, but fun, 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 fun. It's just so important to draw, guys. Like, just draw a little bit every day, just for like 5 minutes. And I highly recommend you draw yourself. Even if you got 1,000 bad drawings of yourself, each one you will gain experience. And just like Pokemon, you will evolve into, I guess, a good artist or something. So, I don't know. I never really end these videos well, and I don't start them well, and the middle doesn't really go well. I'm just kidding. We're having fun. So, blow some kisses and sprinkle a little fairy dust on you. What else can I do for you guys before you go? Drink some green tea. Here, you drink some too. What do you want to see in more videos? Do you want to see me draw something stupid? Because I'll draw something stupid. Figure drawing, the goal is to draw people naked. We want to draw naked people, so It's gonna be really fun to gather up all my friends and be like, okay, I'm gonna go down the line and I'm gonna draw you all naked. I can't wait to do that. I can't wait. Oh man. I just want to like line people up and be like, okay, now it's your turn, disrobe. Okay, I'm done with you. Now it's your turn, disrobe. I'm not a freak. I think everyone likes naked people, so um, if more people are doing it, then I'll be less weird. Do 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 do. Anyone can draw, but you do have to draw every day. Drawing is, in my opinion, better than an instrument because if I stop playing an instrument, after about a week, you kind of lose the skill. But drawing, my first lesson when learning how to draw in LaGuardia High School was drawing is a skill that you can put down and come back 30 years later and basically be where you were when you left off. So it's just like a steady, positive growth without going backwards at all. You're just like, you keep getting better. I don't know. I love drawing and I love talking about drawing. We are at an hour and a half, and I was gonna do like a 30-minute video. I always tell myself that I'm like, I don't have the energy. I don't want to do it. I won't have fun. But we always like have a great time. Boop 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 boo. The butterflies will emerge from their chrysalises in about a couple of days. The first ones will come out in a couple of days, and then it'll take a couple of days for them to become sexually mature, and then they will mate, and then they will lay their eggs. And there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. Boop doo. But this is a drawing video, so I'll make another video educating you guys on butterflies. Or you can just check out my Instagram. It's Green Valley 0.0. Or also, I've got one called Butterfly Square Garden. So just check me out on Instagram. Give me a like. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, give me a thumbs up. And I want to see your work. I want to see your work. Do the drawings and then show me the work because we are building a community here. And, you know, let's grow together. Let's grow together. I really like finishing my videos that way. Bye, everybody. I hope you had fun. And remember, let's grow together. That's fun. I like that. Okay, I'm posting now. Don't forget to like and subscribe and drop a comment. Drop a comment. I want to know who you are. Do you like art? Do you like drawing? Do you like naked people? We are training our eyeballs here, and we are becoming more creative and more artistically confident. So, I love you, I love you, I love you. You like my tats? That stands for Butterfly Square Garden. I don't even know what I was doing over there. It's like a butterfly and a leaf, but I did a bad job. So, yeah, that's it. I'm peacing out. See you next time.